So we're going to learn how to solve for the angles inside of regular polygons. In other words, all the angle measures are the same measurement. So the first step is to figure out how many sides the figure has. And so in this case, it looks like we have 3, 4, 5. So that means we have a regular pentagon. Okay. All right, so now that we know we have a pentagon, a regular pentagon, the first step is to understand the total amount of degrees inside of a pentagon. So we know that a triangle, all of the angle measures add up to 180 degrees, right? So the thing to understand is that for each side that you add on to a polygon, you add another 180 degrees to the total angle measures. So for a quadrilateral, you just simply add another 180 degrees. So that would be 360 degrees. And here we have a five-sided figure, in other words, a pentagon, and that equals 540 degrees total. Okay, and so essentially, really, there is a formula to consider here. And that is really all you have to do is take 180 degrees and then simply take the number of sides and to subtract 2 from it. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So we have a five-sided figure, and you would just simply take the 180 degrees and multiply it by 5 minus 2. All right, always subtract 2 from the number of sides and then multiply the answer by 180. And so 180 times 3 equals 540, so that you can see we have the same answer by doing that particular math, right? So anyway, here's the final step. All right, well, how do we get the value of x? Okay, well, how many angles are there in there, right? There's 5 angles, right? So now you just take your 540, divide that by 5, and you get 108. So the value of x is 108. Okay. Let's try solving for y here. In this case, this is a regular hexagon. Okay. So we have 6 angles, 6 sides. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So using the math that I told you before, if you just take your 180 degrees and multiply it by 6 minus 2, just always subtract 2 from the number of sides in the polygon. This way we'll be able to get the total degrees inside of a hexagon. Okay, so 180, essentially it comes down to 180 degrees times 4. All right, so 180 times 4, and we have a total of 720 degrees. Okay, now we have to get the angle measure for each angle, and there's 6 of them in there. So we're just going to divide the 720 by 6, and you come out to a value of y, a value for y of 120 degrees. And so that is the angle measure inside of a regular hexagon. So you can do this formula for essentially any shape. Okay, so if you had an octagon, okay, now remember this little formula right here. If you had an octagon, that would be 8 sides, right? So you would start out with 180 degrees, and you would multiply it by whatever 8 minus 2 is. Of course, that's 6, right? Right, and then once you get that answer, which is 1080, now since an octagon has 8 angles, you just simply divide by 8, and you get 135 degrees for each angle inside of a regular octagon. So you can do this for any number of sides in a polygon.